It's time for another edition of Donovan Live. I'm Danielle Serino, back again for Jimmy tonight, who's getting ready for Sunday's Browns game. Irma is on its way to the U.S. coast, and it is not slowing down. We'll tell you who from Northeast Ohio, though, is headed into the storm. The Browns and Cleveland Police Union are headed toward reconciliation tonight. We'll tell you what we know about pregame ceremonies on Sunday. And it's being called one of the biggest breaches in history. We have 4 steps you'll need to take for life if you're affected by the Equifax hack. Donovan Live starts right now. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm here with Matt, who's in for Betsy. She is headed to Florida to cover the storm, and we are all keeping an eye on where Hurricane Irma's going. You are in the safe zone. They may not be.
Yeah, it's a big situation. They're heading down to Jacksonville, which isn't going to be in the core of this storm, but obviously this thing, Danielle, is so much bigger than the state of Florida that anywhere in Florida is going to be the impacts of this. So what we want to answer now is what's the latest on this storm, where's she headed from here, and what our impact's going to be on Northeast Ohio. So here's your storm view right now. This is a look. This is the GOES 16 satellite imagery of Irma right now. You can see the core of that storm system with that eye wall continues to rotate very, very healthily right between Cuba and the Bahamas. Off to the north here, you see that's Florida. So we're starting to get some of those outer clouds from it. The rain band's still several hours away, but right now we're dealing with a Category 4. This is the latest, a very strong Category 4. Winds at 155 right now, and again, it is expected to start to make that churn to the northwest and eventually the north. What you're looking at here, these are all the spaghetti model plots or all the computer models that we look at and where it thinks it's going to go. The consensus now is the Florida Keys for landfall, and we've got the Everglades right here near Naples, and then up the core of Florida there over the course of the weekend. So timing that out, Category 4 expected to perhaps increase to Category 5 strength. We've got low 90-degree bath water essentially right before it hits, and that is fuel for the fire, so to speak. But we're talking late Saturday night, especially on into early Sunday, and then lasting all day Sunday up into Monday as we go through the state of Florida. Then eventually heads off to the north. May get some showers from that in the Ohio Valley. I'll detail that forecast, and we'll look a little bit deeper into Irma here coming up in the forecast. Danielle.
All right, thanks so much, Matt. Now let's get a look at some of the other stories making headlines tonight, including Irma preps here at home and the sudden death of a country music star. It's all in tonight's 77 Seconds at 7. As Irma inches closer to the states, the whole country is bracing for impact, including people here in Northeast Ohio. First Energy is sending nearly 900 linemen, damage assessors, contractors, and other crews to Florida to deal with power outages. They're expected to leave Cleveland tomorrow morning. Ohio school on lockdown. This morning, police were called to the Columbus Scioto High School after reports of an active shooter. They arrested an 18-year-old student, Adan Abdullahi. He was charged with firing a weapon in a school safety zone. More charges are pending. The man who struck and killed Ohio State Trooper Kenneth Velez almost a year ago on I-90 received a 1-year jail sentence today. Last month, Joshua Gasper was found not guilty of vehicular homicide, but his sentence is for charges including driving with a suspended license and tampering with records.
And it sure be nice of you to roll with me.
And just in tonight, one half of a popular country duo has died in a helicopter crash. Troy Gentry of Montgomery Gentry was flying to a show in New Jersey when the helicopter crashed not far from the airport. The band was on tour and had planned a show at the Wayne County Fair on Sunday. We're also learning more tonight about the plans the Browns and the Cleveland Police Department worked out for Sunday's season opener game against the Steelers. The word today is police officers will in fact be joining the Browns on the field. WKYC's Amani Abraham gives us a preview tonight from First Energy Stadium.
What started as a firm stance with Police Union President Steve Loomis saying that members would not be joining the Browns on the field holding the flag during the national anthem has taken a turn. Today, it's a message of unity joining the police department and Browns players. After several Browns players were criticized for kneeling during the national anthem, the players came together for a meeting with Cleveland police to develop a neighborhood plan, bringing to light a broader goal to connect with the community. Police Union President Steve Loomis released a statement saying that, quote, once again, Cleveland has risen above the fray and has demonstrated that respectful communication is the key to solving any problem. He says he's accepted the Browns' invitation and will detail 20 officers to take part in the event. Coach Hugh Jackson weighing in on the issue, saying he's proud of the message.
And I would think that, just knowing our organization, obviously we love our country, we love our flag, we love the police department and what they do for us. They've done so much, for us here, and I think that's super that we're coming together and working together for the right cause, and looking forward to watching that happen on Sunday.
And the Browns also confirming that there will be a video shown during Sunday's game that will involve several players talking about equality and unity. Reporting here at First Energy Stadium, I'm Annie Abraham, Channel 3 News.
All right, so how did it get to this point where the whole country is weighing in, police at odds with a team they've always had a great relationship with? I have Mark Namick with me right now, a columnist with Cleveland.com, to discuss what has become a very contentious issue. And you've been pretty critical of Steve Loomis. 2 days ago, I think it was, you wrote an article about this. Tell me why and what you think of this new detente, if you will.
Okay, I think the backdrop goes back several years to what we saw were police shootings and protests around those. You saw Colin Kaepernick protest by taking a knee. Things died down a bit, but then you look at the Charlottesville violence and the issues around racial injustice. I think that's what brought players back to their knees.
Okay.
And Steve Loomis, who's been a strong and passionate advocate for police. But I wrote about him being a bit disingenuous because the backdrop here in Cleveland is different. We have a city that has a settlement with the U.S. Justice Department over the police department. And we've had controversial shootings here between police and residents, and a real call from all involved in the community and politicians to figure out a way to bridge the gap, bring back community policing. So I called out, I thought, what I believe is some hypocrisy in sort of saying, hey, our protest is better than your protest.
But why? Why does his protest not have validity? You know that this is a salt of the earth, working class town, a lot of vets here, a lot of people who are in the military.
My argument is taking a knee isn't meant to disparage veterans and police officers. It's capturing a moment to get attention during the national anthem, and it has, no one can argue that, to make their point about what they believe is some racial injustice in the justice system. Steve tried to wrap it only in the flag and say that, look what they're doing, this is disparaging the military, when in fact you can't ignore our backdrop in Cleveland, which is a history of issues between the police and the residents. That was my point. I think Steve knows it. Again, he's a passionate advocate for the police, but I think that was ignoring quite a bit of backdrop here.
But perhaps they could have done it in a different way. I mean,
let's talk about that for a minute. The different way is what? Marching, which is
let's say all the Browns players, I don't know, walk down Euclid Avenue. We'd have cameras all over the place.
I've marched in those, and I've seen horrible things that people have said to the police to their face during these marches. It's a much more confrontational issue. Taking a knee, much quieter and I think less divisive, in my opinion, action than getting in the face of police officers out on the street. Again, that's the difference in opinion. They think it's disparaging. I'm arguing they're capturing the moment and taking advantage of that time, and it's worked for both sides.
Positive thing? They're all coming together on Sunday. That's really the bottom line. No high five?
All right.
I think that's great news. I mean, we may not agree on which side, or they may not agree, but
my job's to cover it. I won't cheer or jeer them, but
it's nice to see that there's, like I said, a detente among them, and they're going to be together on Sunday.
Remember, Cleveland police, as officials in the city, all along said, hey, we're not standing with what the union's saying, because they are a separate entity and they do represent rank and file members, but the city itself was trying to say, we're going to work with the Browns. Ultimately, that brought them all together.
Okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate your commentary and your writing. You do a wonderful job.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, the story Hidden Figures, you may know about it. It's the contributions of strong black women that were made during the early space program. First it was a novel, then an Oscar-nominated film. And now thanks to Tri-C Creative Arts dance team, it is a dance as well. And a team created it to thank the book's author, Margot Lee Shetterly, who came into town today for Cleveland Book Week. Let's take a look.
I was absolutely blown away. To see the ideas in the book come to life in that way was wonderful. The dancers were fantastic. The music was great.
To perform Hidden in front of the author, it was a really amazing experience, and to kind of like show her that her little vision that came alive and is so big today.
I was so excited just to see her facial expression and see the way she reacted to our dance moves and our dance steps.
To me, it was kind of life-changing to do something so big like that, because this is like one of the biggest things I've kind of done. When I was dancing, it was really just about trying to tell the story that she wrote.
And to see everybody taking Hidden Figures and turning it into their version of their story, relating their story to the Hidden Figures story has been remarkable.
We are getting so many great responses to this dance and this dance style inspired by Hidden Figures.
All right, still ahead, it's being called one of the biggest data breaches in history, and you could be affected. We'll tell you who to contact if that's the case. Also, they made a big promise, and the Indians made a big win. The folks from Universal Windows Direct are here to tell us what happens now that they have to comp every customer who bought their products for the whole month of July.
Channel 3 News at 7, Donovan Live, is made possible by the Calvetta Brothers Floor Show. It's time to fall in love again with your home.
All right, so all that cheering last night was not only for the Indians' 15th win, but for free windows after a heck of an offer from a local window company. Earlier this week, Universal Windows Direct promised that if the Indians won 15 straight, is that you? Every customer who bought you were like, oh, dear goodness. Their product in July would be compensated. Tonight, we are talking about that deal with the owners of one of their stores. This is Mike Sturmack. Is this a corporate promotion, or is this promotion from your store?
It's our store right here in Cleveland and Columbus.
Oh, so first of all, what did the corporate think when you guys did this?
Well, actually, we own corporate. This is corporate headquarters.
Oh, this is you guys.
Yes.
I know you're Cleveland-based, but I also know there's franchises.
Yeah,
so
we have franchises.
Okay, so you came up
We're
with
the
this idea.
franchisor, yes.
Now, did the people who bought their windows in July, did they know what they were getting into and that this could possibly happen to them?
Yes, at the end of the agreement, we actually showed them that if the Indians win 15 games in a row, they would get their windows or roof or anything for free.
Now, did you put it out there as like an advertisement to get people in, or you just told them when they were in there?
We did. It brought a couple people in, but in the beginning, everybody's like, 15 games in a row, I don't know. But it certainly helped, but it was far-fetched.
Okay, now, did you guys try to figure the odds of the likelihood of this? You had to figure the gain-loss of it.
Well, people were saying, the insurance company said it was about 2%. The chance of it happening was about 2%.
Okay, and how's your insurance company feel about it now?
You know what? We talked to them on the phone, and they were okay with it. They're like, we win some, we lose some. This one we lost.
And tell me why you did this.
We did it really because it was our 15-year anniversary.
Oh.
15 wins in a row.
Right.
The tribe has done 14, but they've never done 15.
Right.
We had a watch party last night at Progressive Field, and all the customers were there, and it was like winning the World Series.
Oh, I can imagine.
There were customers who actually got back over $30,000 to $40,000 for their home improvement project.
I just got goosebumps. Why didn't I come in and get my windows then? So how much? So they got $30,000 to $40,000, which
Right.
is incredible. How much overall are you putting out there?
$1.9 million between the Columbus market and the Cleveland market.
Okay, as a consumer reporter, I have to ask this. Is any of this a tax write-off for you guys?
It is not a tax write-off for us, but unfortunately, the customer will have a W-9 at the end of the year.
Yeah, for them
Right,
too.
right.
So, any plans if the tribe goes to the series?
No, we're gonna
done?
We're
We're
gonna
done
reel
for
it back
now?
for a minute.
All right, well, thank you so much. That
Thank
was
you.
so generous of you to do. I'm thrilled for your customers, and yay, go Tribe.
Go Tribe.
Like your shirt.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, next up, if you like things fast, stick around to find out where to put your router for faster Wi-Fi. And Matt has another check of Irma and our weekend forecast. From ways to speed up your Wi-Fi connection to what not to do regarding that massive data breach at Equifax. You probably heard that the personal info of 143 million people was stolen from Equifax. You know, the company that's supposed to keep you safe. Well, now the hackers may have access to your entire life. The company has offered free monitoring for people affected, but think twice before you take it, because if you do, you give up your rights to sue them. So first, see if you've been affected by logging onto EquifaxSecurity2017.com. If you have been affected, put a freeze on your account with the 3 credit reporting bureaus so no one can open credit in your name. And then closely monitor every bill you get forever. I'm talking your credit cards, bank accounts, utilities, because you are no longer safe. Immediately order your free credit report from the government and sign up for 24/7 credit monitoring through one of the other credit companies like TransUnion or Experian, and there are also several free services out there. Now, while you're searching for all that information online, does it ever seem like your Wi-Fi is dragging? No surprise, since every smart device in your home competes for the same signal. Your cell phones, tablets, smart TVs, computers, you get the picture. Well, here are some tips to speed up your service. The easiest fix is buy a router with the latest technology. That's, the best idea. If you don't want to splurge on that, move your router away from interferences like your microwave or cordless phones. You can also invest in a mesh network, which extends your Wi-Fi evenly throughout the house like a network. Or if you don't mind moving to a different room, there's also free programs that will show you where the signal is for the strongest and fastest speeds in your home. And I'll put more information on all these stories on my social media pages. And that is one for the money. Let's now turn things over to Matt with another check of Irma and our local weekend forecast.
Yeah, Danielle, you know what I do to speed up internet in our home?
What?
Go to my wife's phone and tablet. You turn the Wi-Fi off. Your phone works so fast after that.
Oh,
Yep.
nice.
It's her that's hogging the data. All right, let's talk Irma, shall we? Landfall expected